Good morning, students. Today, let us discuss some applications of electromagnetic induction. One of the application I am going to discuss here is given like this: a rectangular loop PQRS is hanging from a thread as shown. Thread is now cut. Compute velocity with which the loop falls as a function of time. As a function of time t. Show that if side PS is large enough, the loop ultimately falls with constant speed. Here small m is mass of loop, R is resistance of loop, PQ is equal to L, PS is equal to B. These are the dimensions. And the question figure, it is like this. This is the support from which a rectangular coil is supported in a magnetic field. Field is located up to here, so its weight mg will be downwards. Name P, Q, R, S is like this, and this is the thread which is going to get cut. Once the thread cuts here, the loop will fall down. While the loop is moving out of the field, the flux linked with the loop is going to change. It develops some induced current in the loop. The induced current may find direction like this. Now, what we need to find is velocity of the loop as a function of time, and also we should say whether the loop will fall with constant speed or not. And one more thing, they gave PQ as length L, PS as breadth B. These are the dimensions of the loop. Mass of the loop M is considered already. The resistance of the loop is R. This is the question. we need to solve this question. So this question clearly on the basis of induced EMF, and the direction of current is given according to Lenz's law, as the flux linked with the loop is going to decrease with time. That means magnet is moving away from the loop. You may think like that. When magnet is moving away from the loop, in order to attract the magnet, south pole has to get generated here. South pole means clockwise motion of current is observed. South pole means clockwise motion of current is observed. So once the thread is cut, it is moving out of the field. Flux linked with the coil is going to change with respect to time. It is going to decrease with respect to time. In order to increase that flux, the direction of induced current is in clockwise direction as shown in figure. First of all, I need to find the speed of the loop as a function of time. So the force required for the motion is generally given by F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma. In this case, weight is the force in the downward direction, and there is an upward force. That force is BIL force. BIL force. Since the strength of the magnetic field is B, as the current is going like this in this direction, as per Fleming left hand rule, current is like this, field is into the paper, so it experiences a force in the upward direction, BIL. BIL force want to lift it up, weight want to make it to move down. Net force acting is mg minus BIL, as mg is greater than BIL. That must be equal to ma. That must be equal to ma. You know that acceleration can be written as dv by dt. Acceleration can be written as dv by dt. And the strength of the current passing through the loop, if you want, how to calculate the strength of the current? Current is equal to EMF developed by the resistance of the loop. EMF developed is given by BVL. BVL. Suppose it is moving down with a velocity v at a particular moment. BVL by R. So wherever current is there, I should keep BVL by R into L is equal to M into dV by dt. This is the equation representing the motion of the loop. Let me bring this dt by M this side. Then dV by mg minus b square vl square by r. B square v L square by r. Here m is the mass of the loop constant, g constant, b strength of the magnetic field constant, L length of the side is constant, r resistance of the loop also constant. So in order to have the velocity as a function of time, I should integrate on both sides. So integrate on both sides. Keep integration on both sides. In integration we have a formula, integral f dash x by f of x dx is equal to ln of f of x. ln of f of x. In order to apply that formula here, the numerator should be the derivative of the denominator. The derivative of denominator is, for mg, constant derivative is 0. For this derivative is minus b square L square by r into dv. So I should multiply minus b square L square by r in the numerator, minus b square L square by r in the denominator. Then the numerator will be the derivative of denominator. So if you rearrange the things, one by m into integral dt is equal to minus r by b square l square integral minus b square l square r dv by mg minus b square v l square by r. Clearly it is like f of x, its derivative is in the numerator part. Now you should write it as minus r by b square l square this side, 1 by m into integral dt is dt, integral dt is t, ln of mg minus b square v l square by r. You need velocity as a function of time. You need velocity as a function of time. So in order to have the velocity here, bring these terms this side. Then it is b square l square t by mr. This minus you can take inside. If you take minus to the inner portion, otherwise keep the minus also this side. Later in the next step we will do it. ln mg minus b square v l square by r. We require velocity here. What is the formula for velocity? Here limits also are to be taken into consideration. Velocity changes from 0 to v. So limit also you should take into consideration 0 to v. If you take the limits like this 0 to v, first of all I need to substitute v in the place of v. Next I need to substitute 0 in the place of v. Log a minus log b is log a by b. So you will be left with minus b square l square t by mr on the left hand side, log mg minus b square v l square by r by the second time when you keep 0 here, mg is only left over, log a minus log b is log a by b. So this is the thing, and if you remove, this is the log to the base e, this will come this side, minus b square l square t by mr is equal to this one, mg minus b square v l square by r by mg. That mg you bring this side, mg into e power minus b square l square t by mr, that is equal to mg minus b square v l square by r, and you bring it this side and you take it that side, b square l square v by r is equal to mg into 1 minus e power minus b square l square t by mr. Then v is equal to mgr by b square l square, mgr by b square l square into 1 minus e power minus b square l square t by m1. This is the solution for the first part of the problem, and also you are given one more part. Is that side length is sufficient? Is that side length is sufficient to make the body to move with constant velocity? That is the second part. In order to have the second part, we should draw a graph between time and velocity. Here velocity is a clear function of time, it's an exponential function. It's exponentially increasing graph. So the graph will come like this. After some time, the graph is almost becoming a straight line parallel to ground. So you can say that velocity becomes constant after some time. So it takes after some time means after a long time it is going to happen. After a long time it is going to happen. So if it want to move with a constant speed, after a long time when t becomes infinity, this becomes 0, the velocity becomes, after long time, after long time means t tends to infinity. Once t tends to infinity, this term becomes something power 0 or 1. Otherwise, you take t is equal to infinity here, e power minus infinity, 1 by e power infinity, that is 1 by infinity, that is 0. Anyway, so maximum velocity observed or constant velocity observed is mgr by b square L square. Mgr by b square L square will be the constant velocity attained by the loop after long time. So this is the solution for the given question. This is the solution for the given question. Next question. The question is like this. Figure shows a conducting ring stop. A conducting rod of length L, a conducting rod of length L is hinged at the center of the ring and its other end touches the ring such that the rod can rotate in the plane of the ring. The hinge and the ring are connected by resistance R. There exists uniform magnetic field given by B bar is equal to B naught K cap in the region in the region x greater than 0 and b bar is equal to minus b naught k cap if x less than 0. The rod rotates with constant. The rod rotates with constant angular velocity omega anti-clockwise and the direction of current in the resistor is shown. The resistor R is shown. Draw a graph showing the variation of current with time. Variation of current with time. The question figure we should draw, as the problem is little bit bigger. Let me draw the question figure on the next board. Here is the ring. And here is a rod. This rod is rotating on the ring with angular velocity omega, and length of the rod is L. And here, from here, one wire is taken and it is connected through a resistance R here. Let me name the resistance as PQ, and it is carrying current I. For my convenience, let me take it as x-axis, let me take it as y-axis. As we know earlier, suppose, and here magnetic field is having two different values, B naught K when x greater than 0, minus B naught K when x less than 0. That means, if this is y-axis, this is x-axis, this is the region where x is greater than 0. This is the region where x is less than 0. When x is less than 0, magnetic field is into the paper. When x is greater than 0, magnetic field is out of the paper. Strength is same. Here B is equal to minus B naught K. Here B is equal to some B naught K. It is like this. In this region, the rod is rotating. Here, the rod, it is like this. Rod is going to execute rotatory motion with angular velocity omega. So if I take a particular portion of the rod having dx length located at x distance, so it will have some linear velocity x omega. V is equal to r omega is the general formula. So x omega will be the linear velocity of the particular small element of the rod. Then the EMF developed you can calculate like this: dV between the two ends of this small element, bv dx, and dV is the potential difference developed. So let me take d capital V, because capital V is potential, small v is the velocity, and you can write v as x omega dx, x omega dx. Then if you want total potential developed between the two ends, you should take integration on both sides. Integral dV becomes V, that is given by B, strength of the magnetic field B. I should take outside, otherwise you are given that B is equal to B naught K. Only magnitude, if I take B naught is the magnitude, omega is the angular velocity which is constant, x dx, x varies from 0 to L, because you can take the small element at this end 0, at this end means length L. Now this is B naught omega x square by 2, limits are from 0 to L, half B omega L square will be the EMF developed between the ends of the rod. But here, let me take this point as O and the potential here as VO, and let me take this point as A and the potential here is VA. So if you observe clearly, potential at O is greater than potential at A. Potential at A or potential at O is less than potential at A. We have to decide. So for that purpose, we should take the direction of current into consideration. Now this, from here to here, current will flow in one direction, from here to here in one direction, from here to here in one direction, from here to here in one direction. This is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. In first and fourth quadrants, the direction of current is in one direction. In the second and third quadrants, the direction of current is in opposite to the earlier current. So I should write like this: in first and fourth quadrants, VA is greater than VO. And in second and third quadrant, VA is less than VO. As the direction of magnetic field is changed, the potentials are like that. How do you know VA is greater than VO? By right hand palm rule. So here magnetic field is out of the paper, velocity is upwards, so VA is greater than VO. Once it comes this side, velocity is downwards, magnetic field is into the paper, VO is greater than VA. So depending on the values of potentials, if I draw a graph, the graph is like this. The graph between induced current and time. Induced current is nothing but induced EMF by resistance. Induced current is nothing but induced EMF by resistance. So B omega L square by 2R will be the induced current. So induced potential difference will have different scenario, hence current also can have different directions. So in the first quadrant, if it is positive, in the second quadrant and third quadrant it is negative, again in the fourth quadrant it is positive. So the maximum value is B naught omega L square by 2R. Even the negative value is also same, minus B naught omega L square by 2R. It is like this. This is the graph between. So first quadrant means 1/4. This is T by 2. This is 3T by 2. It is 2T. From 3T by 2 to 2T. The current is positive. Here current is negative. Current is negative. Here current is positive. This is the trend of induced current followed. I hope everybody understood the solution.